What's up, everybody? So as you guys know, I love Android. I have so much love for it. Even though I have an iPhone as my daily driver, I've always had love for the Nexuses, and I actually had a Nexus 4 for a long time. And I think I've reviewed every single Nexus phone, and almost every Pixel phone. I've actually only done one. And the next one on our list is the Google Pixel XL. And this is my first time actually getting my hands on it, and I actually have very strong feelings on it. Now, first of all, I just want to say it's a Google Pixel. I love the whole Google line of things. I think the Nexus line of Android were the greatest phones ever in terms of Android phones. Definitely on my top 5 phones ever. And the Google Pixel is no exception. I mean, I really like how Google specifically makes phones that last a long time and get software updates for a very long time. But this phone definitely is not perfect. Now, starting off the body, I mean, you can tell this phone does not look that good in terms of looks. I really think Google missed out a lot here. It's almost as if they went to make it look like an iPhone kind of, but then totally dished out on the body. Like, I don't understand what they were doing with it. And the body is definitely probably one of the worst things about this phone, if I'm going to be completely honest. It just has humongous bezels on the front, especially in a day and age where like most phones are like slim and bezel-less and this and that. This phone does not look appealing, and on top of that, it does have the little black thing right on top of the screen that I was not a fan of. And I have the darker version, and I can only imagine what the white version looked like. I had the white Google Pixel, the regular version, and that one was pretty bad too. On the back, there's actually glass by the fingerprint sensor, which I'm honestly not a fan of either. It is kind of a nice touch, but it's just like one of more thing that you can break. And I just don't know why there is glass on the back of these phones. I really don't like that. But this phone is not the only one. The iPhone 10 has the glass back too, which I don't like. Now, there's a 5.5-inch AMOLED screen. It's 1440p. I love this screen. It's so good. I wish every screen could be like this, but you know, we're in a day and age where it can't be. But really, like I said, the biggest thing and the reason I love this phone so much is because of software updates. And me, as a person who reviews software for iOS and iPhones and stuff, it's really cool seeing Google kind of take the initiative to make a phone that gets software updates for a very long time. And turning it on, we have Android 8.1.1, I believe, or Android 8.1, which is the latest version of Android that's not a public beta. And I think this version of Android is very good. Really, I don't have too many problems with the overall OS of Android. I think it's sleek. I think it looks really good. And the specs of this phone are crazy too. It has a quad-core processor, it has 4 GB of RAM, and it has the Adreno 530 GPU. And this phone can 100% handle whatever you throw at it. It has so much life left in it. Even though it's barely even 2 years old at this point, it'll be 2 years in October. And this phone, in terms of updates and softwares and speed and everything, does not feel like it's aged at all. I mean, I messed with the Galaxy S9, I messed with the Galaxy S8. This phone is completely 100% still like super smooth and flawless. Like I said, the only thing that dates this phone would definitely be the body. It feels premium, but the bezels do give it kind of an older look to it. But yeah, when you're gaming, whatever you're doing, this phone will be able to handle it no problem. Like, I never had a problem with this phone in terms of performance. It handles games just fine. It handles performance just fine. If you're worried about performance, this phone will be able to handle it. Now, switching to the cameras, it actually only has one camera sensor on the back, which honestly is more than enough. This phone, when this came out, had probably one of the best cameras in the game, and it still does. I mean, it's still very, very good. Photos turn out very good. Really, the only issue, I don't like Google's stock camera app. I think there's a lot more on the App Store. I just really wish there were more features enabled in it. I think it's kind of hard to kind of maneuver through it, but I would rather have something like this where the settings are observant right in the app versus iOS where you have to go into the settings and mess with it there. So Google's camera app is better than iOS's for sure. But the camera here is awesome. Photos look amazing still. I would say they're pretty much comparable to an iPhone 10. This one doesn't have portrait mode or anything. The Google Pixel 2 XL does have a lot more features, especially with the front camera. But this phone, in terms of just overall camera usage, if you're a casual user, it'll be fine. It'll be perfect. If you're someone who actually takes really good photos, constantly looks at photos and stuff and constantly takes them on your phone, then this will definitely do the job as well. Now, the battery life is kind of interesting. So like I said, this phone has a 5.5-inch screen. It's AMOLED, so, you know, and it's 1440p, so it's clocked kind of higher. The specs of this phone are actually pretty high as well. You know, I don't really have a problem with performance, but this phone's battery life is actually very decent. So it's a 3450 mAh battery, and overall battery time and usage is actually not that bad. I would say it's pretty much comparable to my iPhone 7 Plus's battery life. I do think my 7 Plus can last a little bit longer, but I could definitely get a day out of use out of this thing. I'd probably be on like 10% at the end of the day versus like 15 or 20% on the 7 Plus. But this is definitely not a bad phone at all. In terms of battery life, it'll definitely get the job done. If you're a light user, you'll be able to do it, just use it just fine. But if you're a heavier user, you might see yourself charging it throughout the day. But the battery life on this is one of the better aspects of this phone. Some other key things to note, this phone does have a headphone jack up top. It does not have wireless charging, which kind of sucks. I don't know why they took it out of this thing. And it does charge through USB-C, so at least it has that. At least it's going towards the future. The fingerprint sensor on this phone is fairly accurate and fairly good. I don't know, some people like the fingerprint sensor on the back of these phones. I don't really like it that much. I like it on the front, but maybe that's because I'm accustomed to it. So maybe if I got used to this type of fingerprint sensor, I think the LG G6 had a fingerprint sensor like this I just reviewed. I guess it's something I just have to get used to. So is the Google Pixel XL worth it in 2018? I'm going to say 100% yes. This phone is a very good deal. It has the AMOLED screen. It's a Pixel, it's by Google, so it's going to get updates for a very long time, at least another 2 or 3 versions of Android. And on top of that, it's going to get root support, ROM support for a very long time as well. So this phone will pretty much last you for like as many years as you need it to, up until you'll probably break this phone before this phone stops getting supported, either by Google or by third-party developers. And you get the fingerprint sensor, you get, awesome build. Really, the body and the front bezels are really the only things wrong with it, but really the bezels on like the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus are the same as this, so really you're not changing too much. The camera is awesome, battery life is fairly good, and you get awesome performance. Like what's there not to love about this phone? I still think this is a very strong contender in 2018, and if you're looking in the market for an Android phone, I would highly suggest you guys to get this. I'm going to start recommending this phone a lot more to people who want an Android, and I'm going to start comparing this phone to other Androids as well, so stay tuned for that. If you guys want to pick up a Google Pixel XL, links will be in the description. Make sure you get it from that link so you can help out the channel too. That'll mean so much. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much it. If you have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. We're still giving away an iPhone 6s and an iPhone SE on this channel, and in order to enter, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All those links are down in the description, so make sure you enter. And also, there's a link in the description of a video about the giveaway. If you want more information about the giveaway, make sure you check that out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys, and hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.